Hey guys, Matt from Z Club Australia. Welcome back to the channel. We're actually going to be running you through the setup and installation of the V2 Q Smart, which is our Tesla style infotainment system upgrade for the Nissan 370Z. This does have CAN bus integration, so you will be able to see what decimal place you have the temperature set at. You'll also be able to visually see which vent the air is coming from, air conditioning, etc., unlike the V1, which doesn't have CAN bus integration. Also, as standard, is wired or wireless Apple Carplay and Android Auto. If you are an Android user, the biggest benefit comes from just using the base operating Android system on the unit itself. We recommend just connecting your phone as a mobile hotspot. Then you can download your favorite apps like Waze, Spotify, Netflix, Stan, whatever you use to entertain yourself with, and you'll be able to have that split screen functionality on the actual base core unit itself. If you are going to use Android Auto as either a wired or wireless option, it does, however, reduce the screen size to about the size of the 10-inch and puts it more central to the unit. So that's why if you're an Android user, we recommend just using the base operating system on the device. If you are an Apple person and you dislike using anything Android, we have been able to enable full screen for CarPlay users. So wired or wireless, again, we recommend wired for better data transfer, but you will get that full screen functionality, look and feel. It won't, however, enable any split screen functionality whilst you're using CarPlay. Split screen functionality is only available using the core operating system. So without further ado, let's get stuck into the installation. It is plug and play, so hopefully it makes it very easy for you to do. This is compatible for any model Nissan 370Z as well, from 09 all the way up to 2021. Let's get to it. First thing we need to remove is the gear knob. This can be troublesome with manual owners, so please be gentle and persistent if you plan to reuse the standard shifter. This is rather simple if you have an automatic, as you slide the silver surround down and there is a U-clip underneath which is used to remove the shifter. Once removed, you simply grab the gear surround now and lift as demonstrated here. The side kick panels are next on the list. There are 2 Phillips head screws for each of these panels, after which they are then easily removed by hand. Next up is the dash surround, which you'll find 2 Phillips head screws located at the bottom of the plastics. Then the whole fascia can be pried forward as demonstrated here. There will be 2 plugs to remove from this, the first being the push button start and the second being the nav control buttons. There are 2 Phillips head screws that you'll notice located underneath the nav screen. We go ahead and remove these now, which will aid in the removal of the CD stacker later on down the track. Prior to removing the CD stacker itself, we must first remove the plastic fascia. This is held in by 4 Phillips head screws, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. When removing, please be sure to remove the plug located at the bottom, which is connected to the AC control panel. Now that the CD stacker is loose and removed, we unplug the wires from the back of it, noting that the white box that is secured underneath the CD stacker is still attached and plugged in. We need to remove this white box and place it in the bottom of the dash because this is a crucial component to the air conditioning controls of the vehicle. This is also a great time to remove the OEM touchscreen, unplug it, and dispose of it as you will. Starting with the OEM screen plug, this is where you use the adapter if you have a factory fitted reverse cam. Now we move on to the wiring that was originally plugged into the back of the CD stacker in the vehicle. The best part about this is each original plug that went into the CD stacker has a corresponding plug that it will go into for the V2 Q Smart adapter. Another way to do it is as you remove each plug from the CD stacker itself, find the corresponding plug into the Q Smart V2 harness and plug it in. Lastly is a CAN bus unit for the Q Smart V2. This plugs into the bottom of the Q Smart screen. We'll move on to the harness that plugs into the back of the Q Smart V2. On this harness is an adapter to run a separate SIM card if you so choose for internet connectivity. Like the Q Smart V1, there is only 1 plug associated with each port that goes into the back of the Q Smart V2. This is based on size and the number of pins located within the plug.
Now, before you get all gun happy, I just want to point out the fact that you need to affix the Q-Smart V2 to the original dash surround. You'll need to undo the 4 screws that affix the vents to the back of the dash surround. This is so that we can get the leverage needed to take the vents out. I find that the easiest vent to get out is the one that would be located on the passenger side of the vehicle. This is because the dash fascia is a little bit smaller on that side, so it enables you to tilt the vent over enough to pull it out. These can be a little bit challenging, so I'm going to show you what these clips actually look like. There is 2 big clips on the inside of the vent, and there is 3 smaller ones on the outside. Be careful not to break these tabs, as these hold the vent in place, so be very, very gentle when prying these out of place. The easiest way that we have found is to try and pop the 2 big inside ones first. Then, because the dash surround fascia is lower on that side as well, it will enable you to sort of push the vent over towards the outside, and then that will help you a lot to unclip the 3 on the outside, and that vent should pull straight out. With the vent out on the passenger side, the whole center fascia should be easily removed like this. Now that the center fascia is out of the dash surround, you can then slide the Q-Smart V2 into place, making sure that the tabs on the V2 go underneath the 2 screw tabs for the side vents. Then it's a matter of just reinstalling the vent on the passenger side of the vehicle and putting the original 4 screws back in. And then you're ready to install the dash surround back into the car, plug in the harness for the Q-Smart V2, power it up into ACC mode just to make sure that everything's working and functioning correctly. Then simply reverse the disassembly process to put the whole dash back together, noting that you will have a couple of additional screws given we have removed some additional items. And lastly, once the Q-Smart is all connected and functioning correctly, you'll want to program in the steering wheel controls with the Q-Smart itself. To do that, you'll scroll across to the Settings tab, select the 3rd menu within Settings, and scroll down to Steering Wheel Controls. Then to set the steering wheel controls, you will hold down the corresponding button on your steering wheel and press the associated command on screen. What this will do is it will save that button press as that functionality moving forward. Repeat this process for your volume controls, your phone controls, your skip buttons, your back button and mode button located on the left hand side of the steering wheel. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. We'll leave links to our Facebook community, website, and also Instagram pages in the description below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.